Stand, trespasser. Present yourself to me. Good. Stay still and look into my eyes. You are not to fidget. You are not to look away. Am I clear? Good. So, thief, explain yourself. Why hath thou come here? What was thy goal? And why shouldn't I slay thee right here and now? Answer swiftly and succinctly, while I still have patience. Of course, a looter. I'm sure you thought this manor was abandoned, correct? An old, decrepit manor, filled with naught but distant memories of better times and the treasures that those times bore. Better than stealing from the living, I presume. After all, what need doth the dead have for the glittering baubles they hoard? Silence! Thou art not to speak unless I deign it appropriate for thou to speak. Do I make myself clear? No words. Nod. Good, pup. I'll forgive your interruption once and dignify you with a response. No, I am not here to kill you. I am here to explain thy fate now that you've encroached upon my domain. That is all I intend for now. But now is not the time nor the place to discuss this. Listen close, for I shall not be repeating myself. I will open this door, and you will follow behind me. Match my pace. Do not make any attempt to abscond or deviate from my path, or you will find how quickly my hospitality may turn to ire. I will permit thee to speak, but thou art to show only the utmost respect while addressing me. Do all this, and I shall allow you to stay and feast on tonight's supper. Do you understand? Good. Now come. Excuse me, my lady. If you want my attention, you are to address me properly. Yes. What is it? Of course the manor has always been like this. I assure you, the guise of a decrepit, run-down exterior is very much intentional. A deception to hide this once noble sanctuary. Very few look upon a darkened ruin and imagine it teeming with the treasures and trappings of that which is befitting of nobility. I see. Pray forgive if my manner of speech may be somewhat ill-suited for talking of those of your station. All I mean to say is, this manor may appear ruined on the outside, but it does remain well appointed and occupied on the inside. I will explain more once we dine. Please forgive the goddish lavishness of this feast. I'm afraid we don't receive guests quite often, and my staff has a tendency to get a bit carried away. You will sit there, across from me. Please, there's no need to wait. I've already had my fill. This is all for you. Take what you wish. I mean, that is what you came here for, isn't it? No need to be wary. There's no point in ruining such lavish dishes with poison. If I wanted you dead, you and I would not be having this conversation. Good, good. I hope the taste is to your satisfaction. Now, while you satisfy your hunger, let's discuss the matter at hand. Before I begin my spiel, I assume you have questions for me. I imagine this situation is quite abnormal for you. Ahem. Thief. Eyes to me. I understand that the food is that of a much higher quality than what swill I presume they consume down in the city proper. But do not forget who is providing you this banquet. You will answer when addressed. Now speak. You have no questions? None at all? You simply wish to fill your gob with nary a worry as to the fate that hath befallen you? I will do you a great favor in assuming that your mental faculties have waned from a lack of substance. In that case, I will speak plainly. You see, by trespassing upon my ancestral home, you have become privy to a very well-kept secret. This has put both you and I in quite a difficult situation, you see. For I wish not to have your blood staining these precious halls, yet I cannot so easily return you to the outside world. So, do you have questions now? I would like to remind you, I'm very unlikely to show forgiveness for an offense repeated. Ah, yes. Indeed, it is quite a large manor. I see why you would ask that. Apart from the staff, who I requested leave us alone for the time being, I alone call this abode my home. In a time long past, where you sit now used to be the locus of a great and powerful dynasty. The ancestral home of the once renowned House Kyrell. That being said, in times past, when I was still but a child, the ever-conniving merchants and idealists which build up your precious elected council felt scorned and confined under my family's reign. They conspired, they rallied, and then they bore arms at our door, and in one fell swoop severed the head of House Kyrell. Or so they thought. In truth, we simply faded from the public eye, maintaining our authority, though through more secretive and subtle means. It was not until the passing of my late husband that I inherited the position as head of House Kyrell, however hollow and lonely that title may be. So yes, I alone claim dominion over this manor. Has that satisfied thy question? You need not lie to me. I can tell by your tone that my tales of woes long past have fallen on deaf ears. A shame that thou believed that you might deceive me. I will not tolerate any further dishonesty, be it in your words or your tone. Again, do I make myself clear? Before you offend me further, let me be clear. You will be staying here, under my care, from now until I deem it fit for you to leave. That time very well may never come. While you are here, you will do everything I ask of you, exactly as I ask of you. And you will not complain or otherwise make a nuisance of yourself. I will treat this as payment for your criminal trespass and attempted robbery. Dost thou understand? That's fine. That's fine? Are you so daft that you accept your impending and indefinite servitude without nary a care for the future befalling you? Or is it that your ears simply have ceased all function? Oh, you're okay with this? You're okay with this arrangement? Oh, of course. Of course you would. Oh. Are you not aware of how dire your situation is? Dost thou simply perceive me as just another defenseless noblewoman? Another mark whose purse you might snatch, perhaps? Oh, if so, you are more of a fool than you first appeared. Have you really not once questioned why I refuse to eat the food in front of you? Or why my elusive staff makes not one sound? Or even how sounds fill these halls, yet not a single soul who might pluck at a lyre is in sight? You don't care? Oh, I see. It appears that civilized conversation will not suit the likes of you. No, clearly a simple creature like yourself requires a similarly simple and blunt approach. In that case, let us shed this illusion of formality. Does it feel to be tossed around like a limp doll? To be treated like the pathetic bag of meat and flesh that you really are? Do you understand now what you face? I could rip your throat out and gorge myself on your sanguine essence in an instant, and you'd be completely helpless to stop me. You aren't struggling. Have you finally come to understand the futility of resisting against your betters? Or... No. Those eyes. Why dost thou look at me with such a gaze? You stare into death's eyes, yet you do not flinch. Not out of bravery, but something else. Resignation. I apologize for my uncouth behavior. That was uncalled for. Please feel free to finish your meal in peace. I won't disturb you any further. I shall be retiring to my quarters. When you are finished, one of my staff will escort you to me. Do not be disturbed by their appearance. Their timeless bones have served our house for generations, and they will not harm a guest of mine. I will see you shortly. And again, my deepest apologies. You may enter. Come here, dear guest. Do you see that down there? Behind the darkened trees and silent hilltops. That is the city you hail from, correct? If I recall, it was known as Bristor in my time. Would that assumption remain true? I see. Good. Good. While I maintain a limited influence over local politics, I'm ashamed to admit my information network is not what it used to be. Of course, you will partially remedy this in time, but I will not bore you with such menial questions. You are here now, and that's all that matters. Like me, this is the closest you'll ever be to those ever-packed cobble streets. Too far to hear the sounds of 1,000 lives processing around your own. Instead here, only the howling wind pierces the tranquility of night. It's quite fitting for both our current predicaments. You are correct. I do miss it. It's been so long since I felt free to wander even the moonlit streets. It has been a very long time since the era of my kind's dominance, and I only possess a fraction of my ancestors' powers. Don't get me wrong, my abilities still greatly overshadow that of even the most competent mortal. It's simply that I cannot afford a single mistake out there. With my husband's passing, I alone exist to suffer the burden of my house's name. Any single mistake which betrays my existence here would mean the eradication of my family's legacy from this plane altogether. Forgive me. I did not summon you here to listen to me prattle on. Come. Sit with me a while. I promise I won't bite. There you go. Now let me be clear. This is an unusual situation for me. I do not receive guests all the way up here. No, you don't understand. I do in fact require blood to live. As I alluded to, I have quite a few contacts in the city that I work with. Contacts who I bestow minor boons to in exchange for the occasional sacrifice. In a city of such a large size, people go missing all the time. Nobody really takes notice to an additional lost soul every month or so. But what I meant is that all of them came here unwillingly, in chains, lambs to the slaughter. They come to me for one purpose, and one purpose only: to satiate my hunger and sustain my existence. You, on the other hand, you are distinctly out of place. I must admit, I am quite pleased. It is rare to find myself in a novel situation such as I do now. On the other hand, I am quite concerned with how calm you appear. Despite my unholy nature, a human heart did at one point beat within my breast. And though you may be but my prey, I can still feel some concern to those resigned to their fate. You seem confused. It is not my intention to befuddle or terrorize you. Here, lie your head in my lap. Please, allow me to offer you some comfort. It's the least I can do to make up for that outburst earlier. I understand everything that is happening might be a lot to take in. Let me assure you, I mean you no ill will at the current moment. Good. Very good. Please, go ahead and make yourself comfortable. I realize I've been talking for quite some time, and yet I've heard a little of you. Can you tell me about your life? What led you to pursue a life of crime? I see. You've been an urchin since a young age, jumping from one job to another to barely scrape by. That sounds difficult. I can't imagine how stressful a life such as that might be. With everything you've said, I assume that means you have very little family to speak of. I see. My deepest condolences. I know what it's like to feel lost, to find yourself alone in a cold and unforgiving world. I apologize that I may only offer some cold comforts, but yet my sympathy remains true nevertheless. Have you ever known a home beyond Bristor? I see. A local through and through. Do you have anything awaiting you back at home then? You must have some contacts. Anything else? Oh. I didn't mean to offend. Believe it or not, I can understand what it is like, living day by day, unable to pursue ambition beyond basic survival. I admit we are very different people. But even so, I can at least say I empathize with your struggles. Yet still, you can't truly be so prepared to depart this mortal coil. Prey does not usually simply leap into the jaws of a predator without good reason. Oh. You're okay. You'll be okay. I understand. I hold no judgments towards you. I'm here for you now. You don't need to worry about anything anymore. Whatever has happened in your past, whatever has led you to my doorstep, none of it matters here. As long as you are in my arms, the outside world does not matter. I know embracing vulnerability is scary, but I will not fault you for releasing these feelings you've held inside for so long. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. It's all going to be okay. Dear, it may be sudden to ask this, but I had earlier mentioned that I will be wanting a service from you. I'm sure you might imagine what such service entails. I, however, do not wish this arrangement to be unpleasant for you. I know your old life was one of much suffering, and I wish to offer you a new life, a better life. Look at me. I want you to be mine. I request that you pledge your life to me, and in return, under my care, you will never again know the pain of the outside world. I will keep you safe, fed, and attended to. Anything you require, anything you desire, I will do all in my power to provide. If you accept, in times those dark memories of your old life will fade, and only your existence as my obedient little pet will remain. All you must give me in return is your submission. And of course, the occasional offering of your blood. Only enough to keep me going, I promise. I believe these terms to be fair. I know this is not ideal for you. Whether you agree or not, I simply can't have you leave these walls. But I hope with this agreement, such a life may at least be pleasant for you. Take your time, my dear. Take as much time as you need. I'm not going anywhere. So you agree then? Excellent. I can already tell you're going to be such a good little pet. You have no idea how much this pleases me, and I hope it pleases you in kind. Now, my dear, dear pet, I know it's been a long night, but I must request that I make use of you. I hope you don't see me as uncouth, but I am quite famished, and the scent of your blood has been difficult to ignore since you've entered my domain. See, I can be quite intense when I'm hungry, so I'd like to ease you into feeding while I can still maintain my composure. Oh, don't you worry. It won't hurt much. We will embrace. You will feel a small prick in your neck, and then you'll gradually feel lighter and lighter. It's a similar sensation to intoxication, or intense drowsiness, if you will. If anything, you might find it unusually calming. Would that be okay? Excellent. Now, if you would, please lie down beside me. As my pet, I will allow you to share my bed and drift away into slumber embracing me. As long as you behave, that is. So don't worry. It will be all right for you to fall asleep after my feeding. I will take care of everything. So don't you worry your sweet little head. You must forgive me. It has been a while since I've shared a bed with another, or since I've embraced one who'd awake to see another day. I hope you enjoy this closeness as much as I do. Now, be a good pet and show me that neck of yours. Just bend your head back and I'll take it from here. There you go. Such a good pet. Thank you, dear. I told you it wasn't that bad. Oh, you look so cute drained like this. How unfortunate for you. Between your adorable face and those beautiful moans, it might be quite hard to hold myself back around you. Don't worry, though. There's nothing for you to be scared of. While it's true I have not had a mortal companion in a very long time, I am quite skilled at resisting my own bloodlust. I will harm thee no further, so feel free to drift off. Have a good rest, my dear pet. And thank you. I know things are strange now, but I promise you'll come to love this new life of yours. Sweet dreams, my adorable little pup. Thank you so much for watching. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my patrons, including Claxor, Rapturepunk, Rowan Hawthorpe, Scrimp, Snake Clone, and Yanova. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for listening, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care.